All right, so here we go. Throughout this morning on Expresso, we are being a bunch of francophiles, as people would say. Now, you're thinking, what is that? Well, what exactly does it mean? A francophile is a person who greatly admires France, or the French and their culture. And a francophile, of course, a francophone is a French-speaking person or a country, which is quite interesting, actually.
And of course, we are in the midst of French appreciation, as March is the month dedicated to celebrating all things francophone. And we're being joined by sworn French translator and interpreter for the SA High Court, Leon, who will be teaching us useful French phrases and also slang to get around in French-speaking countries. So, Leon, so good to have you with us.
Yes,
do we say
you.
bonjour?
Bonjour. Yes.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
So smooth, eh?
Yeah.
Bonjour. You have to say the bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yes, we want to learn some French from you.
Oh,
and
okay.
the thing is, I know it's quite a language. It's quite beautiful when you hear people speaking it. I get so jealous sometimes, but I think we need to go through a couple of things. So, but I mean, let's start with you. I mean, you've created a business, you know, opportunities and partnerships just as through South Africa. And I just want to find out, as a French-speaking person in South Africa, how has life been? Are you finding many people in South Africa taking on the French language as well?
Yes, it is. For the first impression when we came, the country, it was not easy because you are in the environment whereby many people are speaking another language.
Yes.
You are foreign in the land and foreign in the language.
Yeah.
So it was like a barrier. So we learned from that barrier to break it, because if you are a business-minded person, you know, from your challenge, you can set idea that can help people, that can help yourself. As Mandela said, that the more education is the most powerful weapon that can use to change the world. Really, when I read that statement, it really inspired me. I say, okay, I am the country whereby many people are speaking different language. What can I bring to the table? So I found that let me just use my language as an asset, because, you know, if someone speaking different language, your language can become an asset to that environment. So the reason why I invest myself to set ideas for French and to know how I can use it as a service to help me to survive in the community. So we are not many people speaking French because this is an English-speaking country.
Yes.
But as I say, that you have to find your way. You know, we are living in the competitive world whereby you must have a competitive advantage. So language can be one of your competitive language for you to define yourself in the market.
It's very beautiful, and it can be very overwhelming. So we're going to start with the basics, and you can teach us basic phrases to help us get around. So we are your students.
Yes.
We're going to start with the first phrase, which is a basic hello, how are you?
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Bonjour.
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 Comment ça va?
Comment ça va?
Yes. Bonjour, comment ça va?
Yes.
Oui.
Oui.
That's it. Okay, great. That's the first one.
Yes.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Yes. That's...
But you also have to have a bit of passion to it as well. You can't just say normal. You have to have passion in your face.
Yes.
When you say it, you can't just, you have to say, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
And the eyebrows?
Yes.
The eyebrows actually just stand, it comes installed. That's fine. Next one.
The next one is, my name is.
Yes.
So, or what is your name? And then you'll have to answer.
Yes.
Je m'appelle. What is your name?
Yes.
Comment appelez-vous?
Comment
appelez-vous?
Comment appelez-vous?
Yeah. Or you can say, quel est votre nom? Quel est votre nom?
Quel est votre nom?
Yes.
Quel est votre nom?
Yes.
I think I know Kelly votre nom from my school days.
Yes.
She works in my class.
Yes.
Kelly. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So, comment
allez-vous?
Allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous? Yeah.
Comment allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous?
Okay, so this is great.
That's good.
And then if you're going to say my name is, it'll be like je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle. Yes. Oh, you get there.
Je m'appelle.
Thank you. Très bien.
Yes.
Je m'appelle Jamie.
Jamie. Yes.
But Jamie.
Jamie.
Your name is almost je t'aime.
Oui.
What's our next phrase? This is great. I'm thinking, I don't know why, but it's amazing. When you speak French, you kind of have a more, this more sensual thing that comes out of you. I don't know what it is.
Soulful.
Yes.
You want to connect to
Romanticism,
the
you know.
It's beautiful. Gorgeous.
When you're speaking French, yeah.
Okay, so if you don't understand, what would you say?
Je ne comprends pas.
Oh, I like that one. There's a bit of a beat to that, eh?
Yes.
So say that again.
Je ne comprends pas.
Je ne comprends pas.
I feel like Je ne comprends pas.
Yeah.
Je ne comprends pas.
Et je ne comprends pas. You know, as South Africans, we always make things out to be a song, eh?
Yes.
Right, that's a beautiful set of words. That's great. Okay, so there we go. I don't understand. Perfect. What's our next phrase?
If I wanted to say I only speak a little French, what would I say?
Je parle un peu le français. Je parle un peu le français.
You have to say
un tout
peu.
Un tout petit peu.
Peu.
Un tout petit peu.
You ready to say it?
Yes. Je parle un tout petit peu le français.
Je parle
un
un
tout
tout petit.
Yeah, le français.
Ah, that's great. Did I say it? Oh, this is great.
You're getting there.
I feel like I learned something.
Yes.
You're very good with languages. I feel like we've both learned something amazing.
I think it's, you know, once you got a little bit of the accent, right, that's cool. But
Accent, yes.
Leon Placide, thank you very much for joining us on Expresso. I really appreciate the fact that I learned a bit of French today.
Thank you.
And if you would like to indulge in your inner francophile, then head over to the Festival Francophonie.
Yes.
That is at the Alliance Francaise du Cap in
Yes.
Cape Town. Did I say it right? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Right, taking place today from 5 p.m. You can find all the info at cpt.alliance.org.za and do join it. And just thank you very much to Leon once again. Très bien. Au revoir.
See?
So let's get into some entertainment because I know you need it. It is Friday after all, and we're appreciating all things French today, and that includes the people from countries that France grew into, the French diaspora. So we're delighted to be joined this morning by Père Abraham, a singer and songwriter who has been living in South Africa since 2005 and was born in Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He'll be singing a selection of songs in French, English, and Swahili for you today. And I must just say, you're going to love this one. This song is called Losaka. Do enjoy.
Honya shongo fudo longo Losaka Honya shongo fudo longo Losaka Vanité vanité, oh oui, la vie des hommes, l'homme né, il grandit, puis disparaît comme la fumée. Il a pris la peine de se procurer de richesses de ce monde, mais quel avantage lui en revient-il? Car nu, il est sorti du sein de sa terre, et nu, il retournera dans le sein de la terre. Mais ta parole m'a libéré de cette vanité et m'a donné la vie éternelle. Onya shongo, fudo longo, Losaka. Onya shongo, fudo longo, Losaka. Vanité, tout est vanité, oh oui, la vie des hommes, l'homme naît et il grandit, puis disparaît comme la fumée. Il a pris la peine de se procurer de richesses de ce monde, mais quel avantage lui en revient-il? Car nu, il est sorti du sein de la terre, et nu, retournera dans le sein de la terre. Mais ta parole m'a libéré de cette vanité et m'a donné la vie éternelle. Onya Shongo, Fudolongo, Losaka. Onya Shongo, Fudolongo, Losaka. Onya Shongo, Fudolongo, Losaka.
We really are loving our French affair on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning. And of course, we've been treated to some amazing performances, but as citizens of the world, we love it when our cultures blend together in a celebration of diversity and integration. We love being a part of that. And we are once again being joined by singer and songwriter and wonderful human being, Père Abraham, who is going to perform another song for us this morning. And really does take a huge amount of pride in being able to be that link between cultures, and we take a huge amount out of that. And he's going to be taking to the stage once more with a song that means the seed, les semences.
Voici l'homme est devenu comme nous, empêchant le de toucher à l'arbre. Mais un animal a pris le risque et fut détruit par les plis flamboyants. Et c'est sa peau qui cacha la honte d'Adam. Hey. Alors qu'Abraham s'apprêtait pour l'offrande, juste au point de sacrifier l'enfant, mais un animal lui fut présenté et fut sacrifié à la place d'Isaac. C'est ainsi qu'Abraham récupéra son fils, oh yeah, avant que la vie soit accordée. Il faut que la mort soit constatée pour que la bonne terre porte son fruit. Il a fallu que le grain périsse. C'est ainsi que la vie fut transmise par la main du semeur. Voilà le faiseur de songes qui arrive. Tuons-le, en voici l'occasion. Mais il tuait un animal à sa place. Et c'est son sang qui fut le signe qui épargna la vie de Joseph. L'Éternel devait passer dans la nuit, frappant tout premier-né en Égypte. Mais il fut les chants chez les Israélites qui témoignaient de la mort de l'agneau. C'est ainsi qu'il épargna la vie de frère de Moïse. Oh, 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 avant que la vie soit accordée, il faut que la mort soit constatée pour que la bonne terre porte son fruit. Il a fallu que le grain périsse. C'est ainsi que la vie fut transmise par la main du semeur. Yeah. Avant que la vie soit accordée, il faut que la mort soit constatée pour que la bonne terre porte son fruit. Il a fallu que le grain périsse.
Beautiful. Oh, gentlemen, the weekend just officially began. Gents, thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for blessing us with your talents and your love of this amazing culture. So hopefully that's planted the same seed in you. We're going to be back with birthdays in just a moment. Blake, I hope you're watching, buddy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're still locked in. It's your feel-good breakfast show. And of course, we are loving all the learning when it comes to the different cultures around the world. And this morning is no different because we continue our exploration and we're going to France. Now, we are so happy to touch base with our regular viewer, Patrice Boyer, based in Lens-le-Saunier, which is in the east of France. Patrice, how are you doing this morning?
Hello, Expresso Show.
Yes, good morning to you, Patrice. I've got to first say, yeah, I love the flags you have behind you. South Africa.
It's a sort of twinning between our countries.
Twinning and winning, that's what we're doing right now. So, Patrice, how did you come across Expresso and how long have you been watching the show?
At first, I am a runner and I have discovered your ultra-trail runner local, Ryan Nicolas Sanders. And it's fantastic to speak with the YouTubers of the whole world.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with you there, Patrice. I think it's such an awesome thing that a show out here in South Africa is connecting with people all over the world. And I think you're referring to our YouTube channels where everybody gets to chat to us live and chat with each other. And you obviously being one of them. So, Patrice, look, I know we've all been affected by the coronavirus in some way. But how has it affected you in France?
But the situation is hectic in France. We are sometimes in lockdown and sometimes in curfew. In the moment, it's a curfew in France. The last week, this month, the level is high of contamination and bad.
I know we all are continually struggling with these constant lockdowns. But for me, the question is obviously with some light coming through, have you had the vaccine yet?
No, I am not vaccinated. I am not in the gap of age. I am young.
Oh, well, Patrice, I know it's such a struggle, but I just wish you lots of strength, of course, and for everybody out there in France, everything that they need to just kind of get through this difficult period. But to maybe shed some more light on something a little bit more fun, seeing that we have you here and you are the specialist in France, I'd love to know if you could teach me how to say something in French. So is it possible if you could teach me how to say, it's your feel-good breakfast show in French?
Show remain show. Same in French. C'est mon show petit-déj bien-être.
Whoa, you're gonna have to slow down there.
Feel good in French. It's bien-être.
Bien-être.
Bien-être. Bien-être.
Bien-être.
Bien-être.
Bien-être. I don't know if I'm saying it right, if I'm swearing right now, or if I'm not. so
it's difficult. The French language is one language the most difficult in the world.
Yes, it feels like that right now, Patrice. Your English is absolutely incredible. Compared to my French, it is superb. And I want to say again, thank you for joining us all the way from France, for sharing your magic with us and teaching us a little bit about your culture. And I'm wishing you nothing but the best for the rest of your day. And I hope that we can continue to entertain you here on the show while you guys are struggling out there. But of course, man, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You too. It's a great pleasure to speak with you. It's fantastic. Thank you very much too.
Tata, oh, how cool is that, Mzansi? Of course, if you are watching the show right now from the comfort of your home on our YouTube channels from anywhere in the world, then please let us do. Keep commenting, because of course we would love to chat to you and maybe even have you on the show too.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're still locked in at your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on SABC3, and we are live and loving learning about all the different cultures around the world. And this morning we're going to continue our exploration, and we are on our way to France. Now, we're so happy to touch base with South African Lauren Parks and her French partner Edouard Leleu, who are now based in the French Alps region of France, which is just outside of a town called Annecy. And it's bonjour to Lauren and Edouard, I believe. Is that correct? Am I saying it correctly?
Bonjour, yes, exactly. Your accent is great.
Look, it's always so awesome having you in the studio and from all the way across the world. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. It's a bit cold. We've just come off some heavy snow, but other than that, we're keeping warm and cozy by the fire, so it's fine.
It's so crazy. You think about snow. I'm looking outside and I'm seeing the sunrise and the weather's looking so different. But I got to ask, Lauren, how did you meet Edouard? And can you tell us a bit about your story together? What led to you eventually living and ending up in France? And how long have you been there for?
Sure. I'll let Edward explain this one.
Yeah, so basically we met through mutual friends, a South African friend and a French friend.
Yeah.
So they invited us, both of us, at a braai in the suburbs of Cape Town. That's how we met. And since then, we went on our first date, and since then we've been together for 6 years.
Yeah.
So yes, that's about it.
And I'm sure, Lauren, for us South Africans, when we hear an accent like Edouard's, that's just like, how can we say no to that? So I'm going to ask, what has it been like arriving in a new country, of course, and especially during this worldwide pandemic? I mean, essentially leaving your family and all that you know and going into this new adventure, which amongst craziness, to say a few words and objectives, I mean, that's probably the least of it. I mean, what has it been like?
Well, first, I think it's best to give a bit of context. At the time before, when COVID really hit, and it was this worldwide pandemic thing that just started a year ago in March, Edouard was currently, at the time, he was in South America doing a bit of travels and was supposed to return in May. But then everything, all the borders closed and all of those things. And even though he's a permanent resident of South Africa, when our borders were closed in South Africa, they weren't letting citizens in, let alone, permanent residents. So he returned back to France, and while we were still trying to figure out, what are we going to do about the situation, he got offered a job, and it kind of set things into motion for a new journey, So for 2020, after all of that, we just kind of focused on getting me here. It was tough, I must say. Like, obviously, France and South Africa were one of the two countries that had, the most cases at the time. So it was kind of impossible, but we never gave up. And I think up until the moment that I boarded the flight to France, it was quite hectic. I missed the flight before because certain countries weren't letting me transfer into France via them. And so it was quite stressful, but all worthwhile.
It looks like it. And look at you now. You guys are happily together, of course, smiling and chatting to us from across the world. Now, I've got to ask, obviously, I went to France and I was blessed enough to go to Montpellier. The place itself, it's absolutely incredible. But one thing I really did struggle with was the language, which was quite hard to obviously try to master, especially being a South African, all our little twangs and everything else. But what's been the biggest cultural or, let's say, lifestyle difference for you? Especially seeing that you've had to be adapting in such a crazy time.
Well, look, the language is the most difficult. It's quite an intricate language, so that's like the top of the list. I think the weather in winter is something I'm still getting used to. Spring is coming up soon, which we can't wait for. But for example, we've just had some more snow this week, and I got to the car in the morning, I was about to leave, and I couldn't because I couldn't open the door, and I had to get snow off the roof of the car and scrape the windscreen. So I'm driving on the other side of the road. Other than that, I think there's not much that's really different. The food, food is a big deal here. That's a big part of their culture. And just a million courses of meals, but, per serving of food. Lunch is 3 courses plus canapes in the beginning. So,
what would you say are some of the, let's say, similarities when it comes to life in France and obviously South Africa as well?
Actually, for me, because I've been living in Cape Town for 10 years, I would say the south of France looks a bit like Cape Town. There's some similarity with that. The weather of south of France looks like Cape Town. The melting pot, the culture, there's a lot of good mix of people here in France, mix of culture. there's something that actually reminded me when I was in South Africa about a dish called beef bourguignon. And it's similar to the pochikois, if I pronounce it well.
Yeah, you got the
pochikois.
pronunciation right. I believe that you have become quite proficient in French. Is that so? Now, can you possibly teach me maybe one or two phrases that I have, that could possibly help me during the day and kind of just make things a little bit easier? Or maybe if I was to be able to head to France soon.
Yeah, I think the basics are the bonjour, je m'appelle Lorraine, so you would say je m'appelle your name.
Je m'appelle Raël, is that correct?
Yeah, je m'appelle Raël, yeah, oui. Comment ça va is how are you? And you would respond and say, je vais très bien, merci beaucoup. So thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Oui.
Well done.
One of my favorites is à bientôt, which is see you soon. And my absolute favorite, instead of cheers, they do santé, which I love.
So aviante santé. Is that a goodbye and cheers?
Oui, oui, oui.
Okay.
And then obviously kisses, kissing greetings, which we can't do now because of social distancing, but bisou, bisou. Bisou means kiss, so.
I've got to say again, thank you so, so much. It's so awesome being able to chat to you, obviously in the heart of France and across the world. But again, Edouard and Lauren, thank you again also for sharing the experiences that you've had with us. And we wish you nothing but the best for this exciting new venture that you're on. And please do come share more of your stories and experiences when you are back in South Africa.
We will. We miss you guys. And we miss South Africa. We'll see you soon. Bisou, bisou.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So awesome. Chatting from everybody all over the world. And you too. If you're watching right now from anywhere across the globe, let us know because we want to get in touch.